Hey everybody, this is Alireza from Zafra, and today we're going to be talking about how you can add form validation to your webflow website. Now, as far as form validation goes, webflow is pretty limited no matter how you look at it, especially when you're trying to make something with the default tools that webflow comes with. And there's not really any libraries that I found that could help you fully implement a proper validation system. But I found a way to create one. I found a solution using a little bit of custom code, and we're using the inputflow library right here. So I'm going to be talking about how it works here. First of all, let's look at how it's working in action. I have a name field and an email address, and each of them have their own related label right here. And if I just try to submit my form right now, I'm going to click on it, and it's going to be telling me that the first field is empty, which is name, and it's going to be telling me to please write your name, but it's also going to be highlighting and changing the styling of the name label and the name inputs. And if I write something here, for example, Alireza, and I click the button now it's going to be telling me to write an email address. If I write an incorrect or a fake email address, for example, test some gibberish, it's still not going to allow me to submit because it's not a real email address. But if I write, for example, test@gmail.com, something like this, then it's going to allow me to submit, and it's going to be showing this message that says form has been submitted. And then I can click this button to go back to how it was before. Right. Just make some adjustment here. Button. Go back, and then we make you a back button. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to talk about how you can create this in your own webflow project. Here's what you're going to need. You're going to be needing some custom code, which I'm going to be leaving in the description below. You can find this in my GitHub. And we're going to be using the inputflow library, which you can find in the apps section right here. You can just type inputflow and then install it, and once you install it, you can launch the app like I have here. So once you have those set up, you're gonna have your form right here. First of all, there's a couple of things that you need to do to actually connect your form to the inputflow and then have it work with your form. So you have to first click on your form and then click connect. So for now, it's telling me to disconnect my input flow form, but if it's not connected to a form, for example, if I just add another form here, like I just type form block, put over here, and now I can click on connect to connect it to a new form, but I don't want to do that. So and now we have it right here. Next up, we're gonna be talking about our we're gonna be talking about our steps here. So there's going to be multiple steps. Inputflow in general allows you to create multi-step forms, and this is basically multi-step form. It's going to have its first step right here when we're filling our form, and then the second one is going to be once you've submitted our form, it's going to be showing us, your form has been submitted, which is this step right here. So all you have to do is just add a div block inside of your form, and for example, I'm calling my these form steps. This one, form step 1 and form step 2, and then you just have to connect it to your webflow, to the inputflow, using the inputflow UI. So I can just click on it and connect it as a step. So let me just show you how this looks so you can have a better idea. Here's my input form. I'm going to add a div, and I'm going to be giving it a step. I'm going to be giving it a step right here, but click on step, and now I have to give it a name, like for example, third step. And once I click create step, it's going to be using that as a step. And then you just have to put everything you want to be shown on that step as inside of it. For example, we have these ones inside the first step, and then we have these ones inside the second step. Let me just get rid of this. Once your form is connected to inputflow and you have your steps ready, then you need to go into working on the forward and back button. So this is going to be the next button, and this is going to be the back button. And all you have to do is just click on it and select the, let me bring up another form. Just click on next button. This is going to make this the next button, and when you click on it, once your form is submitted, it's going to be going to the next step of the form. And then you can do the similar thing with the back button. You click back, and this one's the back button. It's going to go back when you click on it. So that's how the different steps works, and with inputflow, and how you can use them. And inputflow itself also offers tutorials on how you can use it, but I'm just going to be using some of the basic features for it right here. So now that we know how inputflow works, and then how we can connect our basic form right here to inputflow, the next step for us is to create the actual steps and connect them to each other. So all you have to do is just look at your steps, which are located on the left side. If you don't see them, just click the refresh button, and then you'll be able to see them. Once you have them, I have already selected them and placed them down here. But if you haven't selected them, they're going to be shown right here on this add step section. You can drag them and put them over here, and then you can connect them using this line. You just have to click on this and then drag it and place it on top of this one. So for my first step, once I click on it, I'm going to be able to see all the validations that are placed inside of it. This means that my first step has to validate these input fields before the user can continue on to the next step. So for this one, I'm telling it, hey, look, if my name field is invalid if it's empty. And if it is empty, go ahead and show them this message right here. And then I'm going to do something similar with the email one. It's going to be checking if my email is empty, or sorry, invalid. And if it is invalid, then show them this message. And I can do more if I just click this add validation button and select a different field, and then use this to validate it. But yeah, so now we're going to close that. We're going to come back to our elements, and you also have to tell inputflow which elements should be used for displaying your error. So for example, I have a text block right here, and I'm just putting some text on it, but this text doesn't matter. It's just going to change with the inputflow, right? All you have to do is just choose this element to be the error element, and then it will automatically change its contents to be what you selected in your validation right here. Okay, so now our input flow is working. However, in order to get our stylings to change, for example, this label and this input styling to change, it requires a bit of extra work. First of all, if I come over to my input and I click on has error, this class is being used to change its background color. Now you can use something similar to change your input's error state basically, and create that. And if I just remove it, it's going to go back to normal. So all it's doing here is just adding and removing a class if I see this text down here. So we can see this one right here has the class has error, and same thing with its label. This one also has the class has error down here, and the same thing is applied to these two as well. Next up, once you have created these states, we're going to be talking about our JavaScript code. You also need to connect your input flow. You need to connect your website to input flow using this script over here. And if you're just using this form, for example, this input flow form on one page, then just copy and paste this inside of the inside head tag section on this one page. But if you're using it on all pages, go ahead and do this on page settings to apply it on all pages. By going over to the custom code section and pasting it over here inside this section. But I'm just using it on one page, so I'm just gonna go back to that one. Let's go back to the designer now. Then we just use this custom code right here inside of it for it to apply. So yeah. Here it is. I am connecting it to my GitHub account, which basically has all of this code right here, and I'm going to be leaving the link for these in the description so you can use them for yourself. And once it's connected, it's going to be able to properly apply it and have it working. Now here's a couple of things to keep in mind here to help you out a little bit. So what I'm doing here in my custom code is that I'm checking for the input that has a name and email. So you can find your name by just click on an input, and then going to settings under the name section, you can find your name. And this will be lowercase, so if it says name with an uppercase N, it just converts to name with a small case. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. This one's name is over here. Yeah, it's just name. It doesn't have an uppercase N. So I'm just checking the inputs, and I'm using the name and email. So if you have, for example, I don't know, a message one, you can just create another variable here and use message for it. Next up, I'm gonna be receiving the labels and the error text, and this is gonna be the one that has the class of error. So if you change it over here for whatever class you want to use, you have to also change it inside of the code. And it's basically just checking, if in this function right here, check for error, if the text is giving us please write your name, then go ahead and make it so that the first one has error. And if it's giving us please write a proper email address, then it's gonna be giving us a text of it's gonna be changing the styling so that the email address is gonna be the one that's read. So like this, it's gonna be doing it for this one. And it's also going to be removing the class for the first one, because if you're getting this message, that means the first one is correct and the second one is incorrect. So yeah, so that's it for how it works. As far as customizing this code, all you have to just use your own fields here. Just replace the names with the names that you have, and for every one of them, make sure to add the class of has error or whatever error state class you're using, and then remove it for the previous ones. Like this code is checking, like for example, if name label, the name field, the name label, sorry, has the class has error, then remove it. If it doesn't, then it doesn't do anything. And same thing with the name field, for the name field and the name label. And you don't need to worry about these parts. Just don't worry about it. Just if you want to customize it, use these ones and these message right here to change it to whatever message that you're using inside of your own inputflow app. Let me show you these ones. Yeah, whatever it is you're using here, you need to use the same ones over here. So yeah, thank you for watching today's video, and make sure to click on the videos that you see on your screen right now to continue watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.